Hey, faculty staff advisors, it's Mike Cordova from SDACA, and I wanted to do a kind of quick video and rundown of the meeting agenda that we had with all of your student leaders last week. So the first thing that we covered with them was Zoom. We'd like for them to utilize, and we went over more in depth on how to utilize Zoom, how to create a meeting, how to schedule a meeting, and also what type of functionality they could utilize Zoom for. They could use Zoom for both executive officer meeting and general body meeting, for online programming, elections if they hadn't done so because they utilize the poll section or functionality on that, and then also utilize Zoom for their transition meeting form that they need to complete by May 3rd. Both the outgoing executive board or the current executive board and the newly elected executive board, we need to complete that, and we felt that Zoom might be the best platform to use because they can also use the share section, which is what I'm currently using now, to show the PowerPoint to complete the form on OrgSync. Elections. So all of your students should have completed their elections. Once they complete their elections, they need to update their position section on OrgSync. So there should be a total of of no more than 8 positions on the OrgSync portal's position section once they complete elections. But we understand that we have some students that will go from vice president to president. And so depending on that, they just need to update their OrgSync position section with the date of March 15th that they had been elected by then, or April 3rd per se today, and then May 21st, 2021. Executive officer training. So we have 3 different options for executive officer training, where I will be doing an executive officer training for our presidents and vice presidents. Secretary training will be completed by Shaquana Gadsden from our office, and then treasurer training will be completed by Jimmy Woods-Corwin, who's our budget manager. Students will have 3 different options to choose to attend training. One is Tuesday the 14th during common hour, 3:25 to 4:25. The second option is Wednesday, April 15th, from 12:10 to 1:10 common hour as well. And then our third option is more of a night option for some students who can't do common hour, which will be Thursday the 16th from 6 to 7. Please encourage your students to attend these trainings as it is mandatory. If they do not complete the training, there's a potential that their budget could be frozen. They can submit the budget, but it won't be obviously looked at or approved until they complete training, which will do makeup training in September, fall 2020. And then also with regards to space reservations, they'll be able to put in space reservations for everything, but with regards to large programming, that'll also be placed on hold until all training is completed as well. Our transition meeting. Okay, so our students definitely need to complete the transition meeting form. That will be found on OrgSync. It's called the transition meeting form, and they will need to complete that by May 3rd. The form is really meant for our current executive board to have a group discussion with our new executive board to provide them and set them up for success on, for instance, what type of programs did they do, traditional programs, what are some new ideas that they like to do for programs, a discussion about the budget, a discussion about transition information or material needed, such as current passwords for social media, and also just making sure that they update the OrgSync portal page and also update their constitution as well. The budget for spring 2020, and then also the budget that needs to be submitted for the following academic year, 2020 and 2021. So for the current budget, Jimmy and our Budget Allocation Council have met, and they are encouraging all students to reach out to their respective BAC advisor to ask them about any type of questions that they may have about how they can currently spend their budget. And so please, I would encourage you all to talk with your student leaders to make sure that they are talking with their BAC advisors to discuss potential budget spending for their current budget this year. The other point to note is that if they do not spend all of their budget, they will not be penalized. That's something that obviously with today's current situation, we want to make sure that students know that we understand we're obviously at home, and so we want to make sure that they understand that certain things that they had planned to spend, they might not be able to do so because of our current situation. For our new executive board, their budget is due for 2020-2021 by May 3rd, 2020, and they will need to upload the budget template. It's not the budget memo anymore. I will provide you with a copy of that via email. And then also the supporting documentation. That is the same as, for instance, if they wanted to order maybe t-shirts from Club Colors, which is one of the companies that we use to do t-shirt designs. They would do a screenshot of how much the money is or how much they're spending within that specific cart. And then they would upload it to kind of show back what they would like to spend potential funds on from the student activities fee. Okay, so with regards to programming, we are encouraging students, as you can see here, if they would like to transition some of their meetings or events that they currently have already posted on OrgSync to online, for instance, via Zoom. They just have to hit the edit section here, as you can see in step 1. And then the next piece that they'll do is then update in the description section here with the Zoom link and password. They'll also update the location section with the Zoom link. And then as you can see in step 3, it'll pop up on the main page where students can see that if they wanted to join, and they can see that via Zoom as well. All right, so majority of our discussion that we have with our students was an opportunity for them to share hopefully ideas and encourage and motivate each other about how to engage their peers and their members online, while their hashtag remote living is what we kind of have coined that in our office to kind of encourage our students to hopefully engage with their peers and their members while at home. And so we had mentioned to our students that we'd like for them to collaborate with current departments who are hosting programs if they like to do so. For instance, our office has hosted campus activities events and also wellness events. So we had a fitness event this past week. We've had Shannon Hake. You have also done a yoga event for our students, which was pretty successful. We have had our Office for Student Success is hosting a book club online. And so our rec centers from both campuses are hosting esports for students to do online kind of sports online. And then also we encourage our students to utilize Zoom to do maybe hopefully a Netflix party, viewing party. They could do a trivia game, a karaoke night, a book club, you name it. Some students have been coming up with some pretty cool, interesting ideas how to engage their students online, which goes to our next slide. So as you can see here, some of our students have come up with some cool ideas. We have, for instance, our Black Student Union and our Caribbean African Student Association. They have been hosting quarantine talks to provide a space for students to talk about what they're doing currently at home and not talk about coronavirus, but to kind of hopefully inspire their students. Maybe they'll do some cooking classes or something that's setting aside an opportunity for them to de-stress, and they're doing that on their Instagram Live platform. We also have, for instance, Frequency, which is one of our a cappella groups, might be interested in hosting their spring concert on Zoom and hosting that for students to view. Our office, for instance, is hosting our Setters Leadership Awards program for students, which we encourage you as faculty staff to attend. We have a student group that might want to host their award ceremony on there. We also have students that might want to host online fundraisers, such as Active Minds, Mental Health First Aid, and or Out of the Darkness fundraiser. And so this is just kind of an idea of some of the students that are hosting current programming on their social media, Instagram, Facebook, or also via Zoom. Great. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to me personally at mcordova@pace.edu, or you can reach us out to the office at campusactivities@pace.edu. Hope you all are staying safe and healthy, and if you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks.